Okay. So this area is a very, very important part of Paseo de Diego, Arte, Transformación. Because as I've seen this entire place transform, I've always loved the art that was here before things started to, be more like I could tell people had specific jobs to like work on certain areas. But before it was that, it was just a lot of different people doing their own art and their own graffiti. But I appreciate all kinds of art regardless, So it's cool to see just like the different transformations and how it's able to come about and change. When I seen this starting to be built, I didn't know what it was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea. I love the book bag, the jetpack. You know what I'm saying? I love that it's plants. Just like how we created the planets. How we created Mercury, how we created Pluto, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. How we utilize our dreams and imaginations and how we utilize our communication, our love, appreciation, and value, how we use our change, rebellion, and opposition, and just like how we created all these things. It's like art speaks for itself, and I really don't have to say much. I really don't have to say much, because I feel like art speaks for itself. But sometimes I do like to, talk a little bit. I love seeing this right here. I didn't even know that Puerto Rico had like an official basketball team, let alone a women's basketball team. So it's very cool that they created this. And I'll be wondering, what's going to actually be inside of these buildings, because for some of these buildings, it be art on them, but then it be having for sale signs, which means that somebody didn't buy it yet. But for this building right here, the person that was painting this, he told me that this used to be a theater, or like a theater, like movie theater, or like a um, performance theater. I'm not sure which one. But yeah, I love this little area right here. But it's a lot of different art. And okay, so one thing I noticed too is that before there was like a bunch of graffiti, right? And so they would paint it all gray first. This is new, this sign right here. But they would paint it all gray first as like preparation, or like silver. And then they would like paint over it, like whatever they're gonna do. So this is kind of how I know that some artists are about to come and transform and paint this whole area. You know, I love this piece right here. It's one of my favorites. I love how they created the hair, from like signs of like beer and like liquor bottles. Medalla, I think how you say it, is like one of the famous like the popular beers out here in Puerto Rico. But yeah, it's all very beautiful, and it just kind of just shows like a Puerto Rico itself. Like you see a lot of chickens in Puerto Rico, regardless of where you live at. You could live in a hood, you could live in an apartment building, you could live in the country, you could live over west, over east. It'd be a lot of chickens everywhere. It's also a lot of basketball courts. Even though I didn't know really about the professional teams, there's always a whole lot of like I feel like I've seen more basketball courts out here in the short time I've been in Puerto Rico than any other place I've ever lived. And there's one particular court near I forgot what it's called. It's like a bar or whatever. But they have a lot of people play like big games. Like how you go to like LA Fitness and places like that, and you might see the actual people playing actual like basketball, right? Like the actual big old teams, right? So like one of the places I actually see that going on is like that particular basketball court, right?